It's your boy Coriclips, and today we're here with our first YouTube tutorial with your boy Johnny on the spot. Alright, so today in this tutorial we're going to be doing a mid taper. I'll be going into detail. Y'all see the way that I do my mid tapers. Also, I'm going to be doing one side of the head. I'm gonna show y'all the back of the head or the fade as well. But I know y'all attention span's only like 30 seconds. Mine like 15. So you know we gotta keep this video a little short. It's like 30 minutes. But what I do on one side, you will do the exact same thing on the other side as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Get into it. Look at that smile, man. Cut ain't even started yet. He's smiling. You know what time it is. Alright, so I have my number 3 guard on, and I'm using the sole clippers by Wall because they good for the sole, but the letter's falling off of that one, so you know they lost a little bit of their sole. But my client, he wanted to do a number 3 all around. So what I do is sometimes I start open just to see how much it'll cut off, but in this case I'm doing it closed. And there's nothing wrong with going over spots because you want to make sure the length of the hair is consistent all around and that it's even all around. So as you can see, I'm taking my time. Now I'm using the Babyliss clippers, the trimmers with the DLC blade 2.0. As you can see, so I'm about to do a hard line. In some tutorials, most barbers will tell you don't do it, so I'm gonna say you can, but I tend to do it because I can have a more precise line instead of me cleaning up under it. I'll clean up under after, but if you do this, I would suggest that you tap very lightly, and then as you can see, I'm cleaning up under it now. Sometimes you can go under it with the full shavers as well, but in this case my client has a very sensitive neck, and you'll see that throughout the video. It's like I barely tap it and he'll whelp up sometimes, so I try to be as gentle as possible. So in his case I do not use the full shavers. Here we go with the sole clippers again. So for the first guideline, I like to open the lever all the way up. This is just a basic tutorial. Sometimes I'll do it like 2/3 of the way, but since I'm doing the basic, I do it all the way open, and I do it with the flicking motion. And for my guidelines, I try to make it like an inch up or an inch, so I have room to work with. But as you can see, look. It's a flick motion. Every motion will be unique to each barber. The more you do it, this is just my motion that I use, and I hold the clippers pretty weird as well too. I try to be perfect with my fades because, like I said, I want it to be consistent, so I could save less time in trying to detail it. All right, so now what I do is I close the blade all the way, so you can see I'm closing it, not open but close. And my clippers are 0 gap for any of y'all who's wondering. And this one I'm just staying up under that bottom line. I'm not going too far up because it's like I want to clean it up. It's not close to bald, but it's close to it. And I'm just gonna, like, not even an inch up, probably just like it's still a little flicking motion, but you're like, you see, just barely going up, probably like halfway or 1/3 of a way of that first guideline. And I try to keep it consistent throughout the whole way. You see that kid in the back, man, what are you doing? All right, so next I try to go this, now I go like midway. See, push it midway. And I also, like I said, I'll show y'all my techniques in later videos as well. And I'm using the corner of the blade, still flicking motion, but I'm probably using like on the left side. Like say if the guard was on, it'll be like those little 3 little teeth, but the corner, because I don't want to create a whole new line. It's just gonna knock out that line right there. You'll see with the flicking motion as well. so look, see, so in that middle I'll go up just a little bit, but you can tell like I'm trying to use the corner, right? And it's vice versa. So if I get on the other side of the head, I'm gonna use the right side of the blades. But if I'm on the left side, then I use the corner of the left side of the blades. And it's still the same thing. And when you're up in that middle section, now you're keeping your lever in the middle, but you're gonna move it accordingly. So if it's not getting that line up, then you're gonna move it up just a little bit, just to get it closer to that closed position. But you're not closing it; it's still be in that middle section. And like I said, I'm just using the corner of my blades, not going in too much, because like I said, I don't want to create a new line that I'll have to try to get out, and it'll save me less detail work at the end of the cut as well. All right, next, as you can see, I got my number 1 guard, and y'all will see throughout the video that the steps will be the same thing, like no matter what guard you put on. So like I said, starting all the way open, you always want to start open, so that'll give you room for mistakes. And still is like a flicking motion. Like I said, everybody motion is different depending on how you cut. So I don't want y'all to be too hard about yourselves trying to emphasize that flicking motion. That's just something I've kind of worked on, trying to create my own technique. So as you can see, I'm flicking up, and I try to flick. They say flick out like a C motion, which is like some truth behind it. I flick in and out because I still want to cut the hair, but I try to stay off of the head so it won't go like too deep in. And it's because I want to create that gradual blend, you know. Like I said, me personally, they'll try to tell you stop trying to go over the same spot, bro. If you got to go over that same spot like a couple times, do it, you know, do it to your comfortability until you get the hang of it. Don't listen to what other people tell you should be doing. It takes time. I'm still perfecting my craft and my technique as well. So that's a 1 open. And next, as you're about to see, I'm about to grab the half guard. Man, all up in my camera. So next, I got the half guard on. And it'll be, like I said, the same steps. I'm going to open the lever fully, not closed, but fully open, right? And a flicking motion as well. Because you don't want to, like, you're going to create a line, but you don't want it to be a prominent line to where it's there and it's hard to get out. Because trust me, those can get annoying. They're very annoying to get out when you created another line, another guideline by accident. And you want to try to stay up under the furs. So you'll see in a second, I'm about to show you. I don't want to go too far up. I'll try to stay up under it so I can have room for detail work. But like I said, just a flicking motion. Sometimes I'll go like a third, right? Like a third, like 2/3 up, and I'll show y'all that. Like I said, in future tutorials, I'll show y'all my technique. But I'm kind of like using the corners when I get to the side of the head. It's just a flicking motion. Yeah, we're gonna put some music in this too, because when I get silent, just so y'all can see, I don't want y'all to be like, is he gonna say anything? You know what I'm saying? All right, next, like I said, now I have it closed, and it's just like that first guideline. Now I'm closing it all the way, and I'm staying up under that line. I'm not going too far up, probably just like a third of the way. And y'all see, it's gonna the more I do it, y'all gonna be like, okay, like now I'm starting to understand. And then future videos, we still gonna go more in depth, you know. So as you can see, like I said, I'm standing up under that line. Y'all can see it's clearing up that space. It's creating another line. That first guideline is like the lever open is pretty much the same or close to the same as the lever close with they half guard on. It's just gonna cut like a little bit less of the hair, so it'll gradually transition. But as you can see, I'm standing up under that line. Like I said, I'm not going too far up, because I don't want it like damn near to be, it's not gonna be bald, but I don't want it to be light up into that second guideline. All right, as you can see, next, so it's about to be the same thing. I'm about to open my lever midway, and I'll still be using like the corner of the blades, you know, with the same flicking motion. I know I gotta manually zoom, like blur out the camera so y'all can see the struggle. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. I always brush my hair down. Sometimes I use a comb depending on the length of the hair, but you want to get excess hair out of the way. You can see, like I said, so starting in the middle, I'll go up first, right? Cause I'm trying to get that line out, or at least as much as possible. So I have to move it back down. I have to close it just a little bit more under the midway, because the line wasn't coming out. And like I said, that's all it is. You're just playing with your lever. You know, all right, so you know if the line's not coming out, then you're gonna adjust your lever just a little bit below. You don't go too far down, but you keep adjusting it until you can get that line out. And you want to always stay up under the line that you created, because if you go too far up, then that blend, I'm not saying it won't be blended, but it'll be lighter than what you expected instead of that gradual blend. It's almost like shading for all my artists out there. That's technically how I think of it, you know. And like I said, I'm just playing in that area. It's like I'm staying in that middle section, so I don't go too far above it, but then I don't go too far below it. So, but in that middle area, just think of it like, okay, I can go up a little bit if I need to. I can go a little bit below if I need to, just so I can get that line out and create that gradual blend. Like I said, I'm trying. It might not look like it, but I'm actually using the corner of my blades. You can see right here. Like I said, the camera's a little blurry because I don't have the autofocus on, but we're gonna upgrade that soon, so no worries. You know, we just gotta get it started. As you can see, anything up under that, I normally it'll be detail work. I use like the corner of my blades with no guard on, which that takes time to perfect. I'm still perfecting it myself, so I can't remember if I went over that in this video or not. All right, so next I have my number 2 guard, still soul clippers, right? Number 2, and I always start open. Like I said, you always start open with anything you do, unless you just at that point where you're like, okay, I got my technique perfected. But I start open always when I first started. Like I said, the basics. And all it's doing is just cutting some of that bulk down to create the room. In some cases, you will notice the guideline, like you'll see it, but his hair is very thick, so it might be a little hard to see in the camera with the open. So it's a 2 open, and all I'm doing is I'm scooping out. Like I said, I try to stay off of the head as much as possible. It's like I'm scooping, like I'm going into the head, but then I'm scooping out because I'm trying to cut the hair, but I'm not trying to cut a lot, like, if that makes sense. So if I mess up, it's like, dang, okay, I got time. Now I close it all the way, right? And it might not seem like it. Yeah, I'm going up, but I'm trying to stay up under that line, like inside that guideline without going too far up. And what is my client doing in the back? What, I said my client, what is that? Oh man, what the heck? Just looking over some of these clips is funny. It's crazy. Alright, next I grab my 1.5 guard. See, 1.5. And I open the lever all the way, right? Sometimes, like I said, I'll do like 2/3, but that'll be like future tutorials. But I'm staying up under that guideline. I don't want to go above that top line, because then I'm creating a whole new line. Now I'm gonna have to do extra work. So it's like it looks like I'm going up, like I said, but as I go more up, I start to gradually go off of the head, so I won't go too far up into the hair. It's still cutting, but it's like it's blending it. You can see. And when I get to the side, I turn. I'm going at an angle, because I want to try to get all of that hair as possible. And that's what you'll learn when it comes to tapers in the back of the head. When you get to that left and that right side, you have to cut at an awkward position, because cutting straight up is not going to cut it, literally. It won't. You got to cut at an angle. And now I close it, like same steps, but I'm staying up under that line. And for this client, his hair is a little, like, it's a little, I won't say it's hard to cut. It's just more towards the middle section of, like, of his head, at the back of his head. Like, I had to go up a guard. Like, I'll have to use the one guard, as you'll see in a sec. Now I go like 2/3 of the way, right? And I stay up under that. And you guys, as you'll see, like, sometimes you don't have to do the extra stuff. I said, I want my clients to have the best fade. It's my work, you know, so I try to the best of my ability to do a near perfect fade. All right. Dang. Shaking it up a little bit, huh? Shaking it up. That. All right, next I grab the one guard, right? And so this is the where I start to play with it a little bit. It's almost because that 1.5 didn't knock out that bottom line, and that's what I meant as far as him. And it'll be like this with a lot of people. So I'll start open, and with this, I go up a little bit. Not using my corners yet, but I'm not digging into it. It's like I'm going a little fast right now, but I'm literally flicking out. And the more you do it, it becomes muscle memory. Like I said, when you start doing your own technique as well. And like you said, I get to the side, so I have to come at an angle. And as you can see, it's starting to blend. And that middle section, like I said, that middle part where it's still dark, I can't hit it with the one open. I have to close it a little bit more because his hair, I guess because it's just the head shape in that area, so it makes it look a little darker, like that illusion. But I'll close my clippers, and I'm using the corner of the blade because I don't want to create a whole new line. So as you can see, at the angle in the corner, I brush. And all it is, like I said, you're just playing in that area until you get that desired look that you're looking for. Yeah, we're gonna have to invest in a new camera soon. The camera I got is good, don't get me wrong. You know, it's still a good camera, but I know what I want. You guys, I know what I want. All right, you can see, like I said, I have to play in that middle section a little bit. All right, like, and it's closed, but I'm using my it's all the way closed, and I'm using my corners, like the literally probably like first 4 teeth to that clipper, because I wanted to cut the hair without cutting too much off and creating a whole new line. Alright, and so now what I'm about to get ready to do is the line on the side. I guess I cut different. Like, some people might be like, why you do it like that? And it's just like, bruh, I'm a little weird, but I cut the way I cut, you know, it works for me. So I do it at like an angle, you know. Some people do it from the back, but I have to get on the side of mine. It's probably time for a new blade for me as well. A lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, Babyliss with their clippers, their trimmers, it cut, but it ain't like that factory blade. When you first get the new clippers, the blades after that, in my opinion, I'm not gonna say they're shit, they're still good, but they just don't cut as good unless you modify the blade or sharpen it. But all my clippers, like I said, are 0 gap, so with that being said, I have to be a little bit more gentle, and because they cut closer to the skin. You can see the fade is blurry. Like I said, after the cut, I always go over detail work, you know. It's just me, because if I notice something, it's always good to notice your own work, and you know, it's good taking criticism from other barbers. So like I said, I got the DLCs for this mid tape. I like to start my guideline, like I line it up with the eyebrow for my mid. Some people do a lot higher, but that's just what worked for me. Sometimes a little lower if I do like a low to mid. Like I said, I clean with my clippers, but I have to be gentle, not pressing on the skin, because you can kind of see. And it's like the same steps as I did in the back of the head. So look at him wiping his forehead. So I grab my my sole clippers, and the lever's all the way open. You see, all the way open, right? That first guard line, and I'm scooping up, flicking out, because it's like I'm trying to catch the hair inside the blade so I can cut it. That's really the main thing. What they really want to tell y'all. It's not really like a special movement you have to do. It's just it helps cut the hair, because like, yeah, digging into it, it cuts it, but it's not grabbing all the hair that it needs to grab. So next is closed. Like I said, I'm standing up on the right, probably like a third up. And that bottom guard line normally is gonna looks bald, but once you get that eye, you'll start to realize, okay, you could see that gradual transition. And then like midway, and like I said, I'm just flicking out. I see it's not really cutting right, so I go down a little bit more, close it just a little bit more, and I'm working with it, just the corner of the blades, because like I said, it's a small area too. You don't want to like cut too far up and then you're like, damn. So next, I grab my one guard all the way open, and you'll see I try to create like a rainbow effect almost, and I stay inside the edge. Like some people bring theirs out so they can edge it up a little bit better, but I try to stay inside because I want to create that, like, it's almost like a burst, but it's not like full effect. It's like a little burst taper almost, but not fully. So I'm just playing with it, and you can see like a part of his head is like a light spot right there. Even though I use the same guard, sometimes that will happen, depending on the client, how their hair grows. It don't get scared, you know. You can, it's I ain't gonna say fixable, it's never messed up, but you can always blend it in. So I always start open with anything. That's the rule. Always open, never close, just in case you mess up. And then I'll close it all the way, right? And stay up under that. And I'm just using the corner of my blades because I don't want to create a new guideline, and I don't want to go too far up. Especially, like I said, since it's in a tight space. Next, midway, right? On a midway. All right, see midway. And that spot is going to gradually, I'm going to blend it out. But I go midway, and like I said, when you get to that midway, now you're just playing around in that area. I go down just a little bit to close it a little bit more, right? Because I'm trying to knock that line out. You can see. So normally when I grab my number 2 guards, as y'all can see, I thought I was about to grab it. Look, I'm delayed, guys. I am delayed. But that's fine though. So I'm trying to get that blend that spot in right there. See, to the best of my ability, I get it. Voila. I'm a magician. Oh snap, bro. I'm having fun with this. Goodness gracious, good Lord, yes Lord, the Most High, yes Lord. But as y'all can see, I got my number 2 guard. Really what I'm trying to do is just knock some of that bulk down in that area. Like I said, some people bold, bro. They'll start with that half, but it's just like, I don't like trying to have the workout to take out another line with the half, so 1.5. So I just start with that 2 and then close it. And y'all see what I tend to do when it gets closer towards his edge, because his hair is so thick, so I have to cut his hair down a little bit more towards the edge, but it's okay because it stays dark in the area. Next I get my 1.5 open all the way. So I'm just flicking in and up. So it's like I'm going in, but I'm flicking out. Like I said, it's almost like that C motion. Everybody flick is unique to them. I will keep it real with you, because I learned that the way you cut is the way you cut. And then I close all the way, but I'm using that corner. As you can see, I'm standing under that line. It looks like I'm going into it, but I'm not. You know, you're starting to see that gradual transition. Look at that. ASMR, y'all. That's me cracking my knuckles. That sounds good. Now I got my one guard fully open, and I'm just standing under that line. Like I said, this is kind of tying the detail work a little bit, but it still is like you have to get that line out because you want to see that gradual blend. And my technique, I like to keep my fades a little darker because like I use it in later videos. I'm kind of going all over the place. I use enhancements sometimes, not all the time. So I'll try to keep my fades dark without having to use enhancements, but still cutting a lot of hair so the fade won't grow back so quick. And that way, so like say if I was to do enhancements and you know they decide to wash their hair and then they wash the enhancements off, well the fade still looks nice. It wasn't like I just sprayed enhancements to make the fade pop. And as you can see, so now when it gets to that corner, like I said, my clippers are sharp. As you can see, he kind of whipped up a little bit, so I gotta be light. I try to be light all the time, but I try to follow the natural side of the ear. I don't go too far up, and I'm just using the corner teeth of that blade. I'll brush down. Sometimes I spray holding spray, depending on the client or the hair texture. But his hair is so thick, so I have to just like try to freehand it. All right, now we're on the lineup. Normally I push my clients back about 2 inches, but I need this dude to come back. You know he's a pretty good dude, pretty cool. So, all jokes, push back deluxe, baby. But normally I like to start in the middle of the of my edge. As you see, some people they'll start on either side, but not me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do what works for you, what's comfortable for you. Don't try, like, you can try different things, but if it's not working for you, then don't keep trying to force yourself to do it. And then, one thing I'm gonna say is when you get towards the corners of the head, you will have to kind of like angle it up a little bit because it's just of the way people's head curve. Not everybody's head curve is the same, but that's just what I do when I try to follow like natural edges. When I come on the side, because I cut like at an awkward position, I have to angle it a little bit just to give it that straight look. It's like that. It's all it is. It's like an illusion, you know. But when you look at it, it's going to be straight. And part of his hair hangs off a little bit, so I try to like go over and cut it, as you can see. And like I said, I'm just lightly tapping, you know. My man, focused. So as you can see, like I said, I always try to follow natural lines. When you have to make an adjustment to people's edges, it's always good to communicate with them. I try, if I have to do it, I try not to make it so drastic to where it's like, all right, bro, it's like receding, and then now you like, damn, bro, what, like, how you get an edge? Like, nah, try to, like I said, keep it as natural as possible. But here we go, voila, the end cut. And yes, I did use enhancements on this cut, just for the video purposes, just so I can show y'all what it looked like. Future videos, I will be showing y'all how I apply my enhancements and which enhancements I use. Look at that, man. Yeah, he like F5. Look at him. Told that man, hey, smile, man, smile. Look at him. Yeah, that boy know he about to go do some things after that cut. Look at him. Yeah, he know what time it is. Johnny on the spot. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Coriclips will do for you, baby. Yeah. I hope that video was very informing for you all. I was a little nervous, you know, but I'm only going to get better the more I do it. So with that being said, hit that like and subscribe button. And let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Coriclips.